minutes. I'm mortified. We're going to transition to Chardonnay. I want you to taste how beautiful these wines are. We're going to taste two really iconic wines from Napa Valley, one that's been an icon for a number of years and one that's kind of a reborn icon, but the Pahlmeyer Chardonnay. So Pahlmeyer is now owned by the Gallo family. Katie Vogt is the winemaker. We're going to taste your Chardonnay Savoir. Faire. This is from Atlas Peak, the Waters Ranch, so this is a part of Napa Valley that's maybe less familiar than some of the other AVAs or regions, but thank you so much for...
Happy to be here.
Yeah, me too, for having this wine, and I hope you can see how beautiful Chardonnay is even after all these Cabernets. So thank you, Katie.
Happy to be here. Been standing here for a while, so stretched my leg, loosened up a little bit. Chardonnay, here we go. So my name's Katie Vogt. I'm the winemaker for Pahlmeyer. I'm going to talk mostly about two things that I think are really, really important when it comes to Chardonnay, and that's site and clone. So any of these wines up here, all the details are important. When you're operating at this level, every decision you make, whether it's in the vineyard or in the winery, matters. But I'm really going to focus on site and clone. So we have to talk about Helen Turley when we talk about Pahlmeyer and Chardonnay. So back when Jason Pahlmeyer started Pahlmeyer, his first vintage was 86 with proprietary red. He had really a laser focus on mountain farming. So farming at elevation, a lot of people on this panel have touched on it. Vines behave differently. It's more challenging. The soil is different. Sometimes there's parts of our ranch that if you ask what the soil type is, it's rock. That is what the soil type is. And you see lots of concentration, whether it's Chardonnay or Cabernet or Merlot, just everything is wrapped up in a tiny little package. Berries are small. And what Helen did is she convinced Jason to buy what is now Waters Ranch and develop it. And one of the things that I love that she did is typically, I mean, there's some economics in Napa, clearly, and Cabernet tends to take center stage. We did have to go last, being Chardonnay, but that's okay. And when you're planting a vineyard, a lot of times you look at, okay, where are the best spots on the ranch? That's where we're gonna put Cabernet, that's where, that's it, that's the ticket. And what Helen did is she said, okay, we're gonna first pick what is the best spot to grow Chardonnay. And that's a really different way to approach planting a vineyard. And I think it's really paid off. We have 6 blocks of Chardonnay. They're all less than an acre, really small. I'll usually pick between those 6 blocks, I'll have about 12 to 15 different unique lots, different pick days, different times. I like to know the numbers, but I don't wanna live and die by them. I like to walk, specifically with Chardonnay. It changes so differently in 24 hours. You can taste a block and I can walk down the row and taste bright, fresh acidity, lime, and then on the other side, just a little bit of melted honey. And I wanna feel that spectrum of flavor. And I always have a color tape, called the Katie tape, and I'll mark the row, mark the spot on the row, tell the team, okay, tonight, that's where we're gonna pick. And we literally dissect this vineyard just like that. Okay, clone. I know I'm trying to go fast, but clone.
We're good.
Okay, great. Old Wenty clone. My absolute favorite Chardonnay clone, and I'm gonna tell you why. So UC Davis does this great thing where they will clean up clones for you. And in this specific case, I much prefer the clone that they haven't gotten their hands on, the Old Wenty, the non-cleaned up version. It has something called chicks and hens. So what people believe is an imperfection or a flaw in the physiology of that cluster is actually what I think makes it really, really beautiful and special for Chardonnay. You have all the different flavor spectrums packed into one cluster. And then when I pick that and I put it into the press, whole cluster, all those flavors come out into one singular lot. And I think that tragically flawed clone is absolutely perfection for Chardonnay. So we focus on Old Wenty at elevation. That's really the idea. So this wine is brought in. It is whole cluster pressed, put into a tank, settles naturally, 100% barrel fermented, about 90% new French oak. We're not shy about that. A little bit of lees stirring, sort of as needed. And everything is native fermentation, unfined, unfiltered for bottling. This is just pure, beautiful expression of Old Wente clone at elevation. So enjoy.
Thank you so much. That's great.